morning. Good to see everybody. It's always good to be down in Indy, and it's another important step in the process, obviously. We just finished a busy 2 weeks. We had our scouts in 2 weeks ago. We had, 8 days of draft meetings, and then before we came, we had free agent meetings. Do feel like we're ahead of the game this year. Last year at this time, we're still, finalizing our coaching staff. We didn't have free agent meetings till after the combine. Sean wasn't able to sit in the draft meetings, so feel good with where we're at. Look forward to a productive offseason. Yeah, we feel like we need to be better in the run. We need to stop the run better. We were inconsistent in a lot of things we did. Week 1 through 6, or 1 through, the first 6 games, we were the worst defensive in the league. And then the final 11, we were top 10, top 5 in a lot of metrics. So really just be more consistent. I think we need to get better inside, stopping the run. Just be more disciplined at times, and you saw that early. You saw that a little late with some of maybe the busted coverages. You can always use help in the secondary. But I feel good about the young core on defense, and we'll just continue to add depth.
George, what is the salary cap going up? What are some expected? How does that impact you guys?
Yeah, it impacts us. It just provides more flexibility than we thought we had. We felt like we were going to be able to do what we needed to do, and then we got the spike, and now maybe we can do more or plan more for the future. So it just provides us and really all the teams more flexibility moving forward. Yeah, we're still working through it. I've heard that, later rounds maybe not as deep. Haven't really seen that in our meetings as of yet, but as we put our, our vertical and horizontal boards together, we'll kind of see how that, comes together. I do think it's, especially in the early rounds, it's a good draft. We're going to be Mike, like we said, we're going to be strategic. We're not going to be as aggressive as last year. We have flexibility, but we're going to, just be more measured and try to fill specific, positions, specific needs, throughout the team. But feel like we'll have the flexibility to do that. But we're not going to be like, we can't do that every year and be aggressive like we were last year. I haven't heard anything from any teams, so, we'll see. It hasn't changed. We want to see the entire landscape. We had to get through our draft meetings. We had to get through our free agent meetings and evaluate with what we have. And so we just want to get through the process. Sean needs to see all these quarterbacks. The coaches need to see all these quarterbacks until we make an informed decision. You just want to get around them as much as you can. I was fortunate to see, a lot of these quarterbacks during the fall, and then that's one step of the process. And then you have the all-star games, and then you have the combine, and then you have pro days and maybe private workouts. So as much as you can get around them and see what makes them tick. Sean talked about leadership. What's the day-to-day like? What do their teammates feel about them? You can evaluate the arm strength, the accuracy, the athleticism. Being able to process is a little more difficult. But I think the more you can get around them, the better decisions you'll make. Yeah. A lot of these guys are more polished in the interview settings, but when you go to their schools and you spend time with them, you take them to dinner, and maybe they're not as prepared, and so again, just trying to get to know them as much as you can. Yeah, these kids have been preparing to be quarterbacks since they're 10 years old, and so it's really important you spend more time with them. Yeah, he's a good player, just like 7 or 8 other of the quarterbacks. We're still working through the process. Obviously, he's a winner. He's won a lot. He has talent, and so look forward to spending time with him, I think, tonight. What was the last part of that?
Whether it's a quarterback trade or the process you evaluate, how do you change the way you
I mean, the game's changed a little bit, and I think Sean alluded to it. The quarterbacks, maybe there's some more athletic quarterbacks. I think they're coming in all shapes and sizes, starting with Breeze and some of the other quarterbacks that have been drafted and had success. So I don't think, the process has evolved a little bit with analytics and different testing we're doing, but it still comes down to, the film evaluation, spending time with them, getting around them. Can they learn it? What type of leader? The passion for the game. It's a tough game, as we know, and the toughest job is to play quarterback. Go ahead. Yeah. No, I appreciate that. We've moved forward. We've addressed that. We've moved forward. Everything we did was above board, but I appreciate Russ, but we've moved forward. We have a lot of work to do. We're here at the Combine. We have free agency around the corner. We're focused on bettering our team and winning football games.
What would it take say, to the first 3 picks in the draft? Is that a situation where you have to love one guy in particular, or we're okay with multiple guys in whoever falls?
I think you'd have to really have to love someone. To move up to the 1, I don't know if we have the draft capital to do that. Yeah, everything's up. We're open for anything, but that would be hard to move up to number 1, realistically. It plays into it. We really value Lloyd, and thought he had one of his best seasons. We'd love to have Lloyd back, but then what's behind Lloyd? We feel good about Wattenberg. We feel really good about Forsythe. We feel like there's depth. That doesn't mean we're not going to sign Lloyd. We'd love to sign him, but we do feel like that's a position we do have quality depth, and one of those guys could be a starter eventually.
After evaluating the standards of the what does this picture look like for the edge inside on?
I'll let the coaches, Sean, that's a work in progress. We thought he finished well on the edge. We're going to sit down with Drew and the coaches, and we've had those meetings. I think he'll probably end up on the edge, but he has the flexibility, and he's so talented, it's hard. It's kind of like Baron Browning. And we interviewed a kid last night from Notre Dame who's played inside and outside. And so it's a blessing. Sometimes it's a curse, because they can't get settled in at one position. But once we left Drew at outside, he finished strong, and so we feel good about Drew moving forward.
You were asked about the potential trading up. What about the potential trading down in the first half? How deep is this?
Yeah, it's easier to trade down, with where we're at number 12, and it just depends on who's there. We feel like there's 12 to 15 players that are really, we have high grades on, and so we think it's where we're picking, is going to be very valuable if we do want to move down. Yes. Yeah, Chris is outstanding. Or Christian, he's outstanding. He's young, poised beyond his years. Very good teacher. I don't know how old he is, but he came in. He had to coach Justin Simmons, Patrick Surtain, Kareem Jackson, and so I would just say he's a really good teacher. In regards to with me, he's a very good evaluator. And when he got involved in the draft process, free agent process, he was outstanding as an evaluator. So they. I feel like they really got a star, in Christian Parker. Yeah, it's huge. This is really the first time in 3 years we've had the same staff. Coming to the Combine, we've had our meetings, we feel good. We know, I feel like myself and the scouts are experts in everything, Sean wants, Vance wants, Coach Westhoff, what they wants. And so that's really important to have some, consistency, some stability. And so I think it's going to be, it's really going to help us moving forward, making, good decisions. Yeah, it's the most important position in sports, so it's important, whether it's from within, that's why this is taking a long time. It's not just going to happen overnight. Our decision is very important, but if you're going to draft one, that's obviously very difficult, and so we're going to put a lot of time into it, like we do every position. But the quarterback position is just that much. There's more mistakes, it seems like, at quarterback, especially in the first round. Yeah. Yeah, you just look at the contracts we have, and the players, some of the veterans we have, and some it makes more sense than others. And you don't want to mortgage the future, so some you don't have to mortgage as much. And so really it's the player, it's the youth. Do you feel like they're going to be there, a while? And so those are the ones maybe you go to. And, I'm not sure we're going to do that or not, but we do have that flexibility. With Sertan? Yeah, we'll look into it. I mean, we have a lot going on, before that. We have, like I said, we got free agency, then we have the draft. Pat's going to be here. Obviously we value Pat, and we'll just see where that goes. Oh, we'll work on that. I would say it's pretty close. We're not gonna. That's an easy one. That's one of the easier decisions we'll make.